What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of UnDIZsputed. I hope you guys like the new intro, welcoming a new co-host, the Blurred Hulk. How you doing, man?
Dude, all right. That was one of the greatest intros I've seen. You did your thing with that. That was phenomenal, and I'm feeling great. So I'm ready for tonight's show and the topics. You got me primed. So
we did. If we would have had some backstage action, man, the comments would have been lit already. Shawn, how are you doing, man?
Buddy, I am fucking great. I'm so fucking good. Did I say I'm doing fucking great?
You got some Elon Musk going on. Like, can I say that?
I'm great, man. It's been a minute. I took a couple of weeks off because I had to, but shit's in line, and I won't be on this week on Wednesday because I had to work, switch my days off. But fucking ready, dude. Let's go. I'm excited for all this. I mean, I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm stoked to be here. I mean, I'm going to be very biased, but I love Undisputed. I mean, I love stirring the pot for that. We've said it countless times. The group chat, I throw something in to set fire, and sure enough, 60 seconds before showtime, I did that now. So I'm excited to get in this.
You do it on purpose. You get David all fired. David's like this.
You throw grenades. You know exactly what you're doing.
Got a couple of Facebook.
I'd be lying, though, if I didn't say that I do go for topics that are intentionally going to get people going.
Well, that's what the show's all about, buddy.
So
got a couple of
y'all didn't hear
here.
the Deadpool blasphemy and stuff, but that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not going to do shit for Marvel, huh? Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
That's not what he said.
That was what I said. That was what I said, but we were like going out here, so give me a chance to plead my case, but I will stick with what I said, and I don't think it's going to save Marvel. But
are you going to thank our sponsors and all that cool stuff?
I was trying to get there, but we're fired up. I mean, we're going to run over our sponsors.
This isn't my
speaking of our sponsors, thank you to Designer Park Co. and Getaway Today. But I had the opportunity yesterday to finally meet our sponsor, Where in the Park, Kevin and Amanda. And they set me up on a goose chase. So they had a cool Where in the Park scavenger hunt at the event they were at. They said, do you want a hard one, a medium one, an easy one? Like, give me a hard one.
You like it hard?
Huh?
Like a hard one, huh?
I mean, hey, okay.
You can't hear me chewing chips, can you?
I mean,
it
sounds like you're chewing on a hard one.
So
I go walking around, and I'm looking for this thing. Like, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Tiff's with me, wife, and she finds her.
So you're walking around with your hard one. That's what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, but I have my clothes on. It wasn't Small World, so we're good. So, but I saw while I'm looking, and I'm like, man, where is this? And I'm like out in the street looking, like I'm gonna find this. I don't need any help, and well, unfortunately, I needed help. Kevin came in with a very nice assist, like some training wheels. He's like, look around you. It could be high, it could be low. Slowed it down for me, like I was beginning to learn how to read. Kevin came through, and man, it was right in front of my face the entire time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
that game's the best. I played that game in the park. It's hard as hell.
So we had the opportunity to get some of the cards this weekend. So when next time we go to the park with the kiddos, we are going to be wearing the parking for the most part of the day.
That's nice.
So, you guys ready for some over/under just right?
Yeah, let's do whatever you want.
Let's
real quick before you get into that, if you are on here and you're a Facebook user, I don't remember what Sam says, but there's somewhere you can click in the group you're watching. It says allow StreamYard to show your face and give permission to be on. If not, just tell us who you are in the chat so we know who we're talking to.
Yes, and Kim was there too. She was very nice enough to respect the non-hugging Louis, so that was awesome. She was very open about that. So yeah, we had a good time.
Now, I'm gonna force the biggest hug on you next time I see you. I did the first time I met you, so.
Yep, and Keanu Reeves. It's a barely like a fingertip. Just there you go. So
Amanda says, "So nice to finally meet both you and Tiff. Tiff is amazing. Tiff is great." So let me talk about a few things before we get into this. Let me talk to you for a second before we get into this. I take a couple of weeks off, and last week I'm at work, and I'm watching Extra Magic Hour live for some reason because y'all decide we're gonna go live for Extra Magic Hour. That's the one show we don't do live. But halfway through the show, this nice young lady's on there. I'm like, who's this nice lady? Lewis's mom was on the show on Extra Magic Hour and literally dropped all the tea you could ever want about Lewis's mom. And that's Ears back there waving his hands. I heard about Ears last year as well. So just, man, I go away for a little bit and we're going live and mom, is it now we're gonna have a mom show? I hear all your guys' plans.
I mean, we can bring the moms on. We bring the moms and Skylar.
Oh my gosh.
I heard she killed it. So
yeah, she was fucking great. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, she killed my self-esteem. Let's be honest. Nah. Like,
she showed you for the person that we all really know who you are. So it was kind of cool to see that side of you as well. You know, so I thought it was very cool. That I was joking about doing all that stuff, but it was really cool to see it. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank all of you for taking care of the show while I was gone. But I appreciate y'all. Let's get this fucking thing going.
All right,
I'm ready, Lou. I've been just pacing back and forth.
So Ears is in the building.
Ears is in the house.
I forgot who I was telling, but there's a good chance, like most shows that I'm in here, Ears is here just listening in. But over under.
So don't talk shit about Lou. About Ears.
Yeah. No, you can't. Just hop on camera. Like what? So let's keep it fun. We're gonna go Marvel since we already fired up about Marvel.
All right,
let's go. Fucking started it.
Shoot.
All right, over under, just right.
Wanda.
Let's go.
Perfect.
Let's go. Captain America 2, Winter Soldier. Whoever wants to start us off.
It's a terrific, amazing movie. So that's what's that? Just right. Pitch perfect.
I agree with Dave. I think it is probably the best Captain America movie. I think it's just right. I think it's a good movie. It's
when really you had that look, Shawn, like, oh, I thought you were gonna go like the opposite. I think it's underrated. I think it gets caught up in the part twos of the original trilogies, Thor: Dark World, Iron Man 2. I think Winter Soldier kind of gets missed. I think it's a really good movie. I disagree with that, but I do think it deserves a lot more credit than it does get.
That was Chris's favorite movie. That was Chris's favorite Marvel movie. I remember he talked about that all the time. He fucking loved that movie.
And here, what you just said is actually great to actually solidify the point. It was just right. It is a 2, but it's a standalone. Like no one actually ever labeled it as like how Thor 2 was looked at or Iron Man 2. The Winter Soldier was its own separate little movie, even though just like Civil War is its own movie and stuff, but it's really a Captain America movie. Same with Winter Soldier. So no one came into that leaving that this was a pretty cool sequel for Captain America.
No, I thought just right. Sorry. How about you? And you said underrated, Lou? Okay.
I think it's underrated. I don't think it's just right. I think it's underrated. I think there's a lot of beauty in that film that gets overlooked because it came out in like that muck of the sequels.
Her name? Oh, I thought you talked about the one girl in there. What's her name? There's a lot of beauty.
What?
Buddy, I'm in a fucking mood. Let's just go.
All right. Let's stay on the topic of sequels. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Kevin wants to know, was Iron Man 2 not good? I think Iron Man 2 was
trash. It was trash.
It wasn't trash.
Where's my bird? I want my bird. Where's my fucking bird?
So Guardians Volume 2.
Okay, Guardians Volume 2. I'm trying to remember what that one was about.
I'll start off. I think it's highly overrated.
Oh, highly overrated? Man, he goes hard right there.
I think it tried too hard to be like the first one and missed completely.
I'm gonna say just right because I thought now that I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it was pretty good. It was. I think all three of the Guardians movies are really decent movies. There's not, it's just right for me. I thought very, very good.
James Gunn hit a home run. That's it. He came on, did what he wanted to do, got the leeway to do that, and bowed out. It was a great movie. It was a great movie. Part of a great 3-pack we got. So,
all right. Speaking of 3-pack, let's switch it up.
Hey, Tyler, good to see you. I got to. So on my way home today, I came down from Oregon this morning. I had to go take care of some shit, and then I got to stop in Redding and finally meet Tyler for a few minutes. So it's nice to finally meet you in person, Tyler.
Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler's fucking really, really cool guy. I was walking out here, Shawn. I caught him off his lunch, but yeah, it was fun. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Yeah, okay, that's the one that has that. Okay, that was a great movie. So that was a fucking great movie. I get those confused of which one's which because they kind of all go together for me. But good movie. But good to see you, Tyler. And nice to meet you.
So talking threes. Mm-hmm. All right, what do you think is the best trilogy in Marvel?
That's a tough question, man.
I mean, I guess you could throw Thor in there, even though there's 4 of them. But
that's not Thor. It's not Thor. But Iron Man 1 is so good to me that it could like carry the other 2. You know what I mean? So I really, I mean, Iron Man started everything. So I would say Iron Man because Iron Man started this whole fucking thing.
I don't know. I mean, by
not terrible.
By technicality, doesn't the Hulk start it all now that Edward Norton's Hulk is canon?
Well, I mean, literally like the first of the 22 movie run or whatever it was.
No, I know. I'm just giving
you know what I'm saying.
I mean, if we're gonna do the Ed Norton thing, then we have to give the Wesley Snipes Blade some credit and stuff. If we're gonna do that, but the Captain Americas are probably hands down the best because America, that's true. You got one which was fine. It kind of gives you the intro. Yeah. But you got the Winter Soldier, and then you got Civil War.
Oh fuck! I gotta change my mind. I forgot about.
We got our Spider-Man, and we got introduced to Black Panther and stuff. I mean, it was
and it revolved around Wanda. So I mean, that was cool too. So
Wanda was there.
She was there.
She was there.
She was looking.
She was there. She was being babysat by Vision.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
But I agree. Captain America.
I forgot about Captain America. I suck. I'm sorry, but then Guardians, they were all solid too. So that's really tough. And Tyler says the second Iron Man was a sleeper. Yeah, I actually fell asleep watching it. Yes, it was not good. It was.
It wasn't.
It was not good. That dude. Why did I have to make him a Russian with that terrible accent? You know, I think that's what made it worse.
It was 100%. And Mickey Rourke loved his earlier work and stuff, but this wasn't it.
Not what I meant. Tyler said when he talked about his bird, dude. I want my bud. Give me my bird. I'm like, what the fuck? What you and your bird? But I will say the guy that actor that played, what's the guy's name? The villain?
Hammer?
I fucking love that actor. That's Sam Rockwell, I think it is.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in that. I thought he was that was a great role for him.
All right, let's go. I'm trying to go ones we don't normally talk about. Obviously, I can't go like Thor, Love and Thunder because we've already bashed it to no means. Let's go. Let's go Doctor Strange 1. Over, under, just right.
The first Doctor Strange? Just right.
Overrated. I think it's overrated. Not a fan of Doctor Strange. He's weird.
That's a hard one for me.
And he's an asshole. He's an asshole in Doctor Strange too. I mean, he gets mad at Wanda for doing shit, but then he's a hypocrite, does the same thing. You know, it takes over someone else's body to do the thing. You're not supposed to do that shit, but it's okay for him to do it, but Wanda can't do it. Doesn't make any sense to me. But
because she's psychotic. What do you mean?
She's fucking great. She's beautiful.
It's like, okay, Shawn. It's okay.
Got nothing to do with it.
It's okay for you to go out and go shoot a gun, but a person who's known to have issues don't want to put a gun in their hand, right? We understand that logic. It's the same shit with Wanda and Doctor Strange.
All right. Well,
it's not what's good for you is good for me. No, Wanda, you're fractured. You enslaved an entire group of people for your own fanfare because you don't know how to grieve properly. So, yeah, kind of different.
Y'all get so defensive and so angry about Wanda. I don't understand.
It's not angry. It's just the truth. I know you love her.
Well, you keep car selling Wanda.
You love crazy. That's all I'm going to say is that. So,
okay. Yeah. and
she's that. So.
My two favorite characters are the craziest motherfuckers, and I mean they're right here on my shoulder: Deadpool and fucking Wanda.
Yeah, but one's crazy and it makes sense. The other one is just crazy and it's disappointing.
And it's kind of poetic how they sit on your shoulders,
right?
It's like the good devil and the angel, or what the
I didn't even do that on purpose, but it actually does fit perfectly, doesn't it? Yeah, look at that.
Oh man,
both giving you bad advice. Just
I'm here for it all.
All right.
I actually wore Deadpool socks to court today. It was
Oh damn! We need that sound effect.
I was going back and forth. I'm like, what do I do? Mickey Deadpool. It's not a Mickey day. Sorry. Let's fucking yeah. Let's go.
Oh man. So
I think it would have been better if you were eating a chimichanga. Sorry. All right.
Over under just right. Not Elemental.
Eternals.
Wow. Eternals.
Fucking garbage.
Underrated. I don't think people understood what that movie was really.
I think it was overrated. I didn't like it. I was so confused. I guess that's probably part of the reason. Let's bring Harry Styles in, then we'll maybe see him like in 6 movies from now or again or something. I didn't even understand that. But
Thanos' brother.
Thanos' brother. Thanos had a little brother, and it's Harry Styles.
Yeah. I mean, I can't comment on the actor's choice, but yeah, he definitely had a little brother.
For me, when the time the movie came out, I think it was super underrated because I think it was a really solid story. But the fact that now there is no mention of them or anything, like they are now going to leave that story alone, I have to like switch up and say it's overrated because it's like they're not doing nothing with it. Could they come back to it? Absolutely. But in the cards that we have so far, nothing is kind of leading back that we're going back there at all.
Well, there's a lot you can say about a couple of Marvel. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is the same way. It just kind of ended, and you haven't heard anything else about it.
Well, that one had honestly a very disappointing altered course. Like
right, but
I feel like Eternals, though. I mean, they had a lot going for that movie, and the movie was really well done. I thought the story was cool. I really enjoyed the way they did it, but then it has just kind of fell off since then. Like,
yeah,
no,
that's the one that had Angelina Jolie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
See, they tried the star power thing with some of these people, and you would think that would be a big enough draw, and still, I thought her character was kind of flat as well. And that is,
here's what I'll say to this, and I'm trying to be fair because being a comic book reader, I know there's going to be some Fantastic Four implications, some Blade implications, all kinds of stuff we haven't seen yet. But I'm going to say this: this movie was improperly released. It wasn't released at the right time. I'll say that because right now you have all these other IPs for Marvel that are trying to weave together this multiversal thing, and then you have Eternals, who kind of looks like it sits on the outside, and nobody knows how much it's going to inform or anything because there's no strings. Like everything has at least a tie-in, a string, right. Like Lewis said, a mention. So this should have been weighted a little bit. I mean, I know they made it and everything else, but yeah. So that's all I'll say. I'll say that.
Amanda makes a good point, and it's kind of how I felt about the movie as well. She said, I was super confused. Too many new characters, too complicated a story, not enough time in the movie to get us to care. And that's kind of what I felt about. I completely agree. Like that's a really good analysis of it. I think, didn't we see it together, David?
Yeah, we did.
And I was
Marvel gets to own that too because they really didn't do a good job.
They put a lot into that movie.
Introducing things or anything about this movie and stuff. So
yeah, I got to compliment Lewis really quick because we were literally 5 minutes before the show started, and I said, "Hey, are we gonna do an over under?" And he just puts this together like this. So good job, brother, on that. So,
no problem.
Yeah,
love stirring the pot.
You got any more?
No, that was 5. That's it.
Okay,
all right, no more.
All right.
Now I get to get into our topics. So we'll start off with the fun one. I think it's the fun one. It's probably the most something new that we talk about.
It's not fun if you're Disney.
All right.
So speaking of Disney and Mr. Iger, we're
going here first.
We're going here first.
Okay.
So Iger and a bunch of other CEOs and big name people in the world did a New York Times. It was like I forgot what it's called, a book deal, I think it's called. But anyway, he did an interview that came out recently and asked a bunch of questions. A lot of questions that were pretty straightforward that we don't even get in our quarterly calls or anything like that. So and his answers were, well, like we've heard most this year. Speaking of Marvel, he said that we put out too much Marvel stuff this year and it diluted the quality. He said that we raised prices too high and that's why things are changing. So he keeps calling these things like we're saying them, but yet no changes are being done. But I think the biggest and loudest comment that he said this year comes out just from this interview. And the interviewer asked, why is movies failing? And we're going to touch on movies here in a little bit. Why are the movies struggling? And it's vaguely out of context. So I'm reading the article. It said, Iger says, creators lost sight of the number one objective needed to be. We have to entertain first. It's not about messages. So I want to get your guys' opinion on that. There's more to this, and I'll continue on, but I want to get your guys' opinion on that alone. He says, creators lost sight of their number one objective needed to be, we have to entertain first. It's not about the messages.
So he said this. Bob Iger said this.
Yep.
Okay.
I will find the clip, the smaller clip. I have the whole half-hour interview, but I'll find the smaller clip. And if you are following us on our Discord, I will drop it in the Discord.
If you find the interview, can you send me the interview? I'd love to at least just watch it.
Absolutely.
I haven't been tuned in for the past couple of weeks, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to watch that clip. And also, can you find the clip from what was it, Happy Gilmore, or whatever, the Adam Sandler movie where the judge, when he goes into the debate, talks about how that was just the most pointless BS whatever I've ever heard, the dumbest comment. I award you no points.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
I feel stupider for listening to that comment. Like, no messages. That's not our thing. Like,
he's like, a simple no would have been just fine.
So now obviously the internet is running with this because obviously the internet's running with it. Oh, Iger has confessed that they are, putting messages in films. I mean, they've been doing that messages in Disney films as long as we can remember. Hey, don't be a bully. Don't be a bad person. Don't be a villain. I mean, they've been it. But on the same defense, though, it does seem like a lot more movies, the story gets lost because there is, I don't want to use the word messages, but there's a lot more ideas going into the film that really kind of take the story in every which way. I feel like Wish suffered from this intensely. I mean, I Wish opened up the first 5 minutes of the movie. You think it's like, okay, 100 years in the making, a man makes a place where all your dreams can come true and your wishes. Oh, this is an animated film of a parallel story, but fantasy of Walt. And then it's not that. It's every blueprint of a princess story that I've ever seen. And there's so many, I don't want to say messages because I think it's the wrong thing. Because they're not saying the message. You watch this, you take your own story away from it, but there's a lot distractions. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Is there's so many pieces you're like, that doesn't fit in there, and it takes you out of the movie. I won't say it's a message because everyone watches the movie and takes from it what they will. So I feel like messages is the wrong word for it.
I agree with that. I agree with, and real quick before we get into what we think, Tyler says he's being hypocritical. The parks have to answer to the PC complaints. So let the movies get a little more attention and creative and not worrying about hurting feelings. I don't agree with that. I don't think these movies are put out to create these messages. They're putting out stuff that's more normal in life now. And people look at that and say, oh, Disney's fucking woke, blah, 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 because they're doing this and they're conforming to. And then Kevin, who I've never had seen Kevin in our comment, so welcome, Kevin. Kevin says, Disney has always been about diversity and inclusion. They just wasn't putting it in front of the people's faces. That's true. They always have been. But what they're doing now, I mean, this goes back like live action Beauty and the Beast when, LeFou's dancing with the guy at the end. Oh my God, that's just why they have to do this. And because that's what life is now. That's how life is looked upon right now. The Onward, wasn't there gay characters in that movie as well? Am I thinking of
Onward didn't have it that I don't recall.
Onward.
Elemental had some.
Elemental did. The Doctor Strange 2 had it with the two moms. And
Star
like people blow up on this one little part. Like, oh my God, how can they do that? It's real life now, people. Fucking just deal with it. You know what I mean? That's where we live in a world where that is more acceptable.
So I don't disagree with you, but a Strange World.
Strange World, yeah, okay.
So
and Lightyear did as well.
Lightyear did. So, but here, so I had this conversation.
Elemental did too, I believe. I think the Elemental
did.
Yeah.
So now I do not disagree with what you're saying, but I did have this conversation earlier though, and yes, Disney has always been doing this stuff, but the unique thing that was before is we had options. There were some Disney movies that you can imply stuff a little bit more heavily than others, but now I feel every Disney movie has a bingo card that they're trying to check off. I mean, you take Peter Pan, The Little Mermaid. There was one of the one I was just talking about that was, oh my gosh, I was talking earlier, live actions. But you take this and it's a bingo card. I mean, you take the comparison between The Lost Boys and Ariel's Sisters, where there is every shape, color, size, ethnicity. Like, and the sad part is, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not gonna say that, but and you look at Peter and Wendy. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that didn't like that movie, and there's a kid that's in there. That's one of the kids looks like he has Down syndrome. Cool, great representation, right? What'd you do with that character? Nothing. It's like you just put it in there to say, "Hey, that's there. Cool, we got it right." That's it. You didn't let that character evolve. You didn't give that character much screen time at all. I mean, you go to Ariel.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to stop you for a second from what you're saying. So by what they did, by putting these certain characters in there just for a split second, you would have rather had them highlight it more and say, look what we're trying to do. Because that's not that's what you're saying.
The worst thing you can do is like, hey, let's create a token character. And that's what you're implying is because tokens get highlighted, and let's focus on this person. Like, oh, this person has a intellectual disability, but let's not just have them be a part of just this inclusion or part of the world. We want to highlight that and put them center focus and build a story around them and really kind of put the shine on them to show everyone our token character.
I understand what you're getting at.
But look at but they did it anyway. They did it anyway.
You just said they didn't though. They didn't build
that same movie, that same scene. You had the Wendy asked, "Oh, you guys are Lost Boys. You're not all boys," and they're like, "So." It's like, what? Our eyes know that they're not all boys. We can see that. What was the point of that line? So the thing is, though, is all these movies, there's no options. Every movie that is coming out right now has the same bingo card. There is no more options where it's like, oh, I like that one. I didn't like that one. That one has fun stuff. That one wasn't my cup of tea. Now all of them outside of the story is the same thing.
See, I take it a different way. Like when I watched Little Mermaid and I saw all the sisters, I'm like, oh, and in my head, I'm like, that was pretty fucking cool. And it was like literally like, and it was just like that. It was just a little thing. And like you said, it was like you said, they were every color of the rainbow and ethnicity. I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool. I mean, let's be real. Dad was Latino. Ariel was African American. I didn't look at the movie that way, but I see. I don't know. I understand. I totally get what you're saying. Listen, I'm not trying to bash on anything you're saying. Don't get me wrong.
That's what this show's for.
Right. But I'm not. But you're kind of going. But from what you said, though, is you're talking about, and I don't know if that's your thought, but you're saying like a message. If the gentleman had an intellectual disorder or something, and you're saying that they didn't highlight him, they at least just gave him an opportunity to be on there for a second. You know what I mean? So it's not just like it has to be all the same white people or the same, you know what I mean? Or it's Pocahontas, everyone has to be Indians. And I mean, we're on a slippery slope, with the discussion, but I don't think it's done to be a message. I think it just be done because that's the world we live in now, is where we need to have more inclusion and there needs to be more diversity. And you know what I mean?
I will always rep representation, period. It's needed. For those who've always had it, some people take it as a slight. Some people say it's being woke. Some people, but I tell you, I teared up when I was in Black Panther, and I'm watching my children's eyes as they're watching a non-white feature-led superhero played by Chadwick Boseman and stuff rocking it on the big screen on a big blockbuster movie. Representation matters. I will never apologize. I will never have Disney say, well, maybe it's maybe we can tone down. No, fuck that. The gates are open. This is what the real world is. And I'm not coming after you, Lou. I'm just trying to say there is people who were always say, I want to go back. It's this, I'm sorry to say, it's that make America great again. Like, let's go back to this particular era where it was just all one thing. They'll hide it. They'll say, well, it was the classics. It was this and that. No, it was all white. And it wasn't really representative of America or the world. It's now we're becoming more representative because we realize how important that is. People are going to hate that no matter what, whether it's gay, people with disabilities, people of color taking on feature roles, taking on starring roles, or so anything that's different and changed is going to get backlash. And then we're going to hide by these kind of in your windows kind of little critiques and everything about messaging. That's why I think that was bullshit what he said about the whole interjecting message, because that's what Disney does, period. That's what they've always done. So now we're more inclusive. And now what's the problem?
Right.
So I don't disagree with you, but one thing that's making me mad about it though is they're either all in or they're not in. And I go back to my favorite three movies, not my favorite three, but my favorite three representations to show that you could do this and still sell great story where nobody cares, where you're almost blindsided that it was even there to begin with, just because the fact that it was a great story. You take Moana, which is a great story, great movie, great characters, even The Rock aside. I mean, I don't like The Rock because I feel like he doesn't become the character. The character becomes him. Moana is a solid movie. You go Frozen. They take out the whole Prince story, the whole everything. And it's a great movie. You go Princess and the Frog, which is a great animated story. They took a 2D animated story, made it a great movie. Those three movies, I feel, have great representation and a solid story, a solid message, a solid diversity, everything. Solid stories. You take some of these other movies, Snow White was the other one. Snow White, Peter Pan and Wendy, and Mermaid. Why are you redoing stories that you know are just going to cause controversy? We've all shared, we don't like the live actions. You don't need to remake them. But the thing that gets me is sometimes that messaging, and I hate calling it messaging, it's just the way he said it and stay in my head. But all of that is sometimes taken away from the integrity of the story, and it doesn't make sense. You either have it in there because you're trying to use it as a story piece and give, whether they have a line or not. I'm not saying you showcase them, but you either have a line or give them something. The Lost Boys were lost literally in the Peter and Wendy movie. They didn't exist, and they played key roles in the original animated film. And they're just sidebusters. Tiger Lily does most of the talking for them, and they're just there for there. Disney's either not going all in and making a story that makes sense to whatever story they're trying to tell, or you leave it the hell alone. And right now, a lot of movies are getting look at my favorite one. I feel like Turning Red missed the marker from story to whatever the underlining image was. I feel like Turning Red missed the marker. Luca, I feel like missed the marker. It was a story. You look at Lightyear, Strange World. It's almost like you had to pick sides. Was it a good story, or was whatever they were trying to do good? They're not blending.
Yeah, I agree. I disagree with you. I love Turning Red. I thought Turning Red was great, but I know you don't care for that movie, and that's fine.
So okay, let me just say, okay, so this is what this show is for. So you picked, which I find to be interesting, two movies, Moana and what was it, Princess and the Frog, very rooted in the ethnicity of the characters. I know you're not saying this, but you picked those two. So Disney should only stick to making movies with people of color if that's the storyline of people of color. Like, we can't have you said Little Mermaid. Why can't Ariel be black? It has her race. It's an imaginary fish. It has nothing to do with it. So she can be any color, any background, anything we want to push the forward story. You can't have a white Moana. It's very centric to that ethnicity of the culture itself. That's not being woke or being anything. That's we and the thing is, we so get into this divide that there's white stories or whatever stories there is, and then there's ethnic stories, and then the ethnic stories, can be great stories and be played by ethnics, but the white stories that we call white stories aren't really white stories. They're just freaking stories that happen to have white characters in them, and they've had them in times where that's all who could have played the leads in those and stuff. And we don't live in that time anymore and stuff. And again, not coming after you, I'm just coming after what was said, because I've heard this argument before. Stick to the Moana, stick to, if go make a movie in Africa and then have black representation there and do that thing. But give us our Frozen and leave Ariel white and everything else. And then people, it was so ridiculous on The Little Mermaid.
Oh my God, not my Ariel.
Really people trying to be scientific about Ariel would never be black if it was a mermaid, and just it's a fucking made up fish. Like, are you serious?
And just for clarity, Ariel, I've watched her. I only got halfway through and what took me out of Ariel was everything but Ariel herself.
A talking bird.
It was the bird. It's physics. It's Triton. I can't take him serious. Out of Pirates of the Caribbean, that whole movie I think was sloppy outside of Ariel, and it's not even stories that are culturally based around their ethnicity. But give me a story that no matter the skin color of the skin color, the ethnicity, the weight, the health, any of that, but whatever story you're going to give me, follow through on that. Show me that you have as much invested in that character as you do the film. Ariel is, I'm going to go back to it. They had so much invested in and Haley, I can't remember, is it Haley or Halle Berry? You have so much invested in that character that all the rest of the characters in that movie fell off. Scuttle was trash. Flounder was trash. Triton looked like garbage. Now we're going to focus in so much on Ariel that now us as fans take it as a message that you're trying to force a African American, a dark skin color, however you want to word it, for those of you that want to get technical on that. You're showcasing that. Like, you want us to buy into that. Like, okay, I don't need to buy into it. I'm going to be a Disney fan. I want to see it. Okay, I go see it. Guess what? She was the only good part in it. The rest of the movie, the characters, horrible. So then, and for a story, you need to have everything working for it. It needs to fire on all cylinders. Going back to Turning Red, going back to what you're saying, Moana being of Island, that's the movie she went. Tiana being in the Bayou, okay, playing along that role. Turning Red, a red panda, that's sound bad. That's as stereotypical as it goes. And I still think that movie was bad. And that's playing in the same blueprint as Moana and Tiana. But for Turning Red, I thought the storyline was trash. I thought the animation seemed like one of those $5 DVD movies. It didn't seem good.
Wow.
I really don't like Turning Red. The only thing that made it good was the Backstreet Boys band, and I think that's why a lot of people actually love it, was because they love, I don't know what's called, H-Town or 4-Town. But my thing is these movies are not firing on all cylinders. It's one thing that's working for it. Now, not all movies, but recently, this year alone, I feel a lot of Disney movies are banking off of one thing and one thing only. It's no longer the story. And I don't agree with what Iger said and how he said it, but I do think that if your CEO is saying this, there is something going on internally, because this is not the first thing he said this year that many fans have been saying.
Well, let's be real about that. Whoa, holy shit, that's loud. Sorry. Let's be real about that. Half of the stuff we're talking about, Bob Iger signed off on.
Yep. Oh yeah, he's definitely CYA right now. He's definitely trying to cover his own ass.
He's covering his own ass. He's going against his own. He's going against because Bob Chapek really did nothing. Let's be real. When he was in there, everything that we're talking about turned. Oh my gosh, tired. Was waiting for Snow White, but so yeah, wow, man. Nicole, hi, how are you?
Iger never left. He gave up.
100%.
Never left. Was directing, helping out every had a paid job on the board the entire time. He signed off, knew everything that was going on. This is why I find it funny, and when I reacted that way about what he said, because I think he was full of shit. He was placating to 100%. Some audience out there that he's like, I can blame that for shit that really probably should be on the golden boy himself.
I disagree with you, Robert. Pushing agendas. I don't think they're pushing agendas. No. So that's, but now he's backtracking on himself, saying that they're not going to do that anymore. So I don't, and again, like I said, I don't see this as them pushing agendas on any of this stuff. This is someone made a comment up here earlier, and I'm just going to throw it out real quick, Lou, and I'll let you take back over.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's up here a little ways. Someone said all movies aren't going to make everyone happy. If you don't like it, don't go. Shawn, not everyone has an open mind like you. I'm not saying I'm this big open-minded person. I just don't see things that way. I'm from Los Angeles originally, where everything is inclusive there. And now, I moved to Oregon for 20 years. I'm now back in California. I see everything as you're just a person. You're not David, you're black. You're not. I don't see David as being black. I don't see Lewis as being white.
Stop. Hold on. Time out. Let me just. This isn't nothing against you. I'm just gonna say this, and this is a FYI, and it's nothing bad. But I just really want to just make this point clarify, because Shawn didn't say anything wrong, but I just want to make a clarity from a position of a person who's of color, who's a black man. We hear this all the time, and this does need to just be acknowledged. You don't need to pretend like you don't see my color. Acknowledge I'm black. You see me. Don't judge me. That's all that means, is don't judge. You don't judge me on my color. You don't. Shawn, Lewis, you guys don't judge me.
Yeah. Stereotypical. I worded it wrong. I apologize. That's not what I meant.
The fact that 1/3 of this show is black. You see that. I just want to put that out there, not for you, but more so for the fans who say, don't say I don't see color. Acknowledge, see my color. We're like box of crayons and stuff. I know you guys are white. You're white. I just had to double check. But I'm not. Don't say you don't see my color. Just that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I get that. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it's just maybe I worded the way I said that. I don't.
You don't judge people based on color or anything.
Exactly. I don't.
The character. Yeah.
We're here to be here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We were, part of something before where that was part of the agenda, and David knows that. You know what I mean? That we wanted to have this, and this, and the boxes checked off.
Yep.
To have, and it's, I don't know. And
no, Shawn was right. Shawn was there with me when when I first got into podcasting. I realized very quickly my contribution was kind of tokenized, because I would get asked to speak on specific topics or address certain things that were uncomfortable and stuff from my perspective. And it's kind of, and I'm not saying this to call out that person that from the other podcast or anything whatsoever, but that's what ended up happening. It's like, oh, well, we have a gay person on, let them talk about the gay issues. And what you do is you end up tokenizing people and saying, no, this is why we kind of built this coalition of shows so we can cover our bases. And that's not what that is. That's why when Shawn left, I left. Shawn and Chris, we left, and Shawn created this amazing podcast network that's just growing and stuff. I was on board. And
don't get me wrong, none of this was done to bash anyone. So I was just pointing something out. So,
but I'm just giving my honest feelings and opinion. Like when you get made to be feel like a token, you feel like a fucking token, and it's like, okay, that I don't like that. That's not, I only brought, it's like me creating a show called Afros, and then I bring Shawn on because I want him to get the ball perspective, and he only gets to talk about ball topic. I mean, I'm being facetious here, but it at some point it gets kind of old and kind of was like, why the fuck am I even on this show? So,
yeah, and Tyler's right. Wrong button pushed, but yeah, I get it. So, again, it wasn't meant to be any certain way, and David knows that. So, So move on to something else.
I love this show. I love this show so much.
We get going. All right, so we're gonna take a quick little getaway to a day break, though. Catch our breather, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the next Disney. So we get that set up. and we'll see you guys in a minute.
Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Get to Know Our Sponsor. Getaway Today has been helping Disney vacation dreams come true since 1990. Whether you choose to visit the happiest place on earth or travel to Orlando and beyond, they want to help you. Need to know the best hotel in the area? What theme park ticket should you buy? Have a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts are always here to help. Want to book a cruise and don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will help you find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it is your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today's experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today has layaway, peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours in advance. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon your welcome. Getaway Today will guarantee the best prices with no hidden fees. And every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million has been donated. So click the link in our show notes to start your Disney vacation planning for more information and the best deals. Tell them Walt's Apartment sent you. And until next time, enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment.
We do love Getaway Today. Always do that.
For millions of dollars.
$1 million, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Snap.
So I want to address one thing real quick before we move on here. So I noticed over here in the comments, someone was asking for the link to come on this show. Just to be clear, we don't do that. We don't just bring on the people that are watching the show as guests. No disrespect to that person who was asking for the link. That's just, I mean, if we invite you on the show to be on sometime, definitely we'll have you on the show. But I do apologize. We were in a deep conversation and didn't answer you back about putting you on the link. So that wasn't intentional. But yeah, we don't do that unless we just reach out and say, hey, you want to be on the show? Then we'll have you on. We don't just give out the link for everyone to pop on, because then it would be just complete chaos. It's already chaos. It'd be complete chaos if we did that. So no disrespect to that person. Kevin does say Hulu merger and Disney Plus going to be long-term success. I don't know why I haven't seen this. I don't know why I haven't seen this yet. So why is my app not doing this? So
if you pay for the Disney ESPN bundle pack, you have that going.
It's dumped into your Disney Plus. So mine's is
into Disney Plus.
Yeah, I have my Disney Plus, and then there's a Hulu little tab in my Disney Plus.
I'll check it out. Maybe I'll look into it some more. Love the amount that keeps that. I love the amount of keeping things real on the show today. Absolutely. I think he's gone, Shawn. I told him he can chime in here. I got you. Thank you, Tyler.
I mean, okay. That was also the integrity. That was the whole blueprint for this show, is to take on a deep cut and really, because I say it every show. None of us here hate Disney. I mean,
sure,
we just want to see it the best it can be, and sometimes some of us like whipped cream on our pumpkin pie, and sometimes we don't. Like, all in all, we all like pumpkin pie. That was a horrible reference.
That'd be the worst thing ever. Sour cream on pumpkin pie. That'd be the worst two things ever.
You should try it.
Unless don't tell me you've tried that.
Sour cream.
No. Okay, yeah.
I'm aggressive with my food, but
yeah.
So, our next topic.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure Universal's taking over.
Yeah, here we are. We're a Disney fan podcast. Let's talk about fucking Universal Studios. Let's go.
Hold on.
Let's talk about it though.
Hold on. So it's about Disney though, because Universal is doubling down on everything that Disney is doing not okay. I'm not gonna say wrong, but not doing okay. Okay. So
Kevin says, Shawn, what's your ball man's perspective on this stuff?
So Universal.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
Universal. Here we go.
Get out of here, Tyler says.
So hear me out. Universal just doubled down on a second park in Florida. And by the looks of it, it's looking pretty badass. Okay? Not only that, Universal's opening a park in Texas. Okay? Boom. Now that box office, they have, just naming a few, Fast 10 killed it. What was it? Oppenheimer killed it. Super Mario Brothers killed it. And there's even more that didn't kill it, so to say, but still got great reviews and money. You got, was it Megan that came out earlier this year? I mean, you got the recent one, the Five Nights at Freddy, which is, yes, on Peacock already, but it's still going. Their Illuminations and DreamWorks Studio animation, the stories are fun. The cartoons are friendly. That bird movie Migrants looks fun. I mean, Universal right now, and they also just got their own little tax district in Florida, which apparently Disney's losing theirs for. I mean, that's a whole other topic, but Universal right now is making smart moves. And yes, they're not Disney right now, but in 10 years, what happens if all of a sudden they start creeping up and Disney starts slipping? And this would not be, before I finish, this is not the first time that Universal has come up to bat and beat out Disney. Went back in the early the 90s when Black Cauldron was up to bat. Black Cauldron lost out to The Great American Tale, which is a movie about a mouse. Guess done by who? Steven Spielberg and Universal. Universal had Disney on the ropes for about 3 or 4 movies in the early 90s. Yes, Disney came out on top, but with the way social media works right now, what is your feelings about Universal? I mean, they're doubling down on everything that Disney is not doing right.
All right. Can I, oh my God. So I'm going to say this way. Okay. Universal, great success in their own right. They're nowhere near on the ethos level of where Disney is. And we've had this conversation. And I'm going to sum it up this way, okay? If you were to take a poll of 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people. This is how synonymous Disney is compared to the Universal. You go through that 1,000 people and say, hey, Jurassic Park, is that made by Warner Brothers, Paramount, or Universal? You think all 1,000 people answered that Universal?
No.
Probably not even half, because they're like, I don't know. No, I don't know. You can literally lie and say, no, that's Warner Brothers and stuff, and they'll believe you. Now, take that same 1,000 and say, hey, Frozen, is that Disney, Universal, or Paramount? Do you think all 1,000 people, random sampling, the overwhelming majority is like, no, that's Disney? Here's my point. Their IP, they are amazing with how they brand. They raise generations to know what they put out, period. I don't care what the success is of those shows that you talk about. They don't associate that with Universal. People don't say like, oh my God, Universal put out Megan. Oh my God, Universal did Barbie or did whatever, Oppenheimer. I mean, those are the movies, the IP on its own. No association, no branding. It's like McDonald's versus a good burger franchise and stuff. McDonald's don't have to put out the most gourmet burgers, but I guarantee you every toddler on the planet Earth knows the Golden Arches. They know the Happy Meal. They know McNuggets and ketchup and stuff. It's the same with Disney. Disney is so far up here. It's like they're at the top of Mount Everest, and Universal is really the only contender that's trying to climb the peak. And you say 10 years, but it's whatever little success they have is going into their arsenal to build, to expand, to try to climb up that peak. They're nowhere near where Disney is. And I'm sorry, we all love to dethrone the king, right? We want to see the king fall, have them topple and everything else, but Wendy's not coming in and dethroning McDonald's.
Kevin, we're going to get to your comment. That's a good comment. We're going to get to it. I mean, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with it at this moment. But
yeah, you do. You just said all that.
You said came out
at this moment, like where Disney and Universal is right now today. I agree. But with Disney, especially with their CEO making all these random ass comments of messages in film, we're putting too much out, we're charging too much, all of that, and self-cannibalizing themselves, while Universal is just slowly slipping by. You're right. Right now, everyone knows Disney. But at the same time, you go to a toy store, and guess what? You know how many kids are going to grab a Minion toy over a mini Mickey Mouse? A bunch of them.
You know how many kids confuse Minions to be a Disney toy?
But it doesn't matter, because if they grab Minions, that dollar still goes to Universal. Matter. If it's in the dollar business, because remember we talked about this before, if it's all about business and dollars,
okay,
yes, I may identify with Mickey that's Disney, but my money's going to Universal. I'm buying Minion toys. I'm buying right now. Walmart's stacked with the new Ninja Turtle stuff that my kids want for Christmas. You know how many Christmas gifts my kids have that are Disney related? Not a damn one.
Okay, so let's talk about the dollars then, because the two biggest franchises for entertainment value on the planet are owned by what IP? That's Disney, right? That's Marvel, number one, Star Wars, number two. The biggest blockbuster box office showing in the past 10 years is owned by one company. That's Disney. They made over $25 billion in the box office in the past 10 years. In the past 5 years, they made almost half of that. They almost made $11 million in the box office. Universal didn't do that. They had some bangers. Don't get me wrong.
Million, David. Not million, billion. Billion. You said it's billion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant billion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Billions.
Yeah.
Even in the past 2 years, they've done freaking $5 billion Disney did and stuff. Still beating the pants off of all of the properties of Universal. While they're falling off, they're still not falling down. Okay, that's why Mike Tyson's not fighting at his prime. But yeah, he's going to go fight this brand new contender who's given his all, has a pretty decent record, and he's fighting his best. Are someone getting an A+, like, hey, I got an A in the class and stuff. That's like Disney coming in and saying, well, hey, we both got A's in that class, but here's the big difference. You had to work your ass off to get that A. I got the A because that's all there is to get. I got everything because that's all there was to get. Disney owns the entertainment field, period, industry, whatever you have and stuff. There's so much work that Universal has to do, and it's not just building properties and everything else and stuff. You have to associate your name with the stuff that you're putting out there so people know, because it's easily to be forgotten, period. Universal can go bankrupt tomorrow, and really, I mean, it'll make some fanfare, some big waves and stuff here and there, and then it'll die out, and no one really would know anything and stuff. The properties will go to Disney or will get split up by Sony and whatnot, and it wouldn't be that big of an impact and stuff. So I'd say my point. The numbers.
That's what we're doing, Shawn. That's what we're doing. Lewis at UnDIZsputed.com.
If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please forward all emails to Lewis at UniversalStudios.com.
Well, no, I mean,
bottom line, Disney's king. It's in the ethos. It's in every family's around the world. They know what Disney is. They know what Mickey Mouse. It's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who can identify Universal properties and stuff.
I get you. I mean, I don't disagree there. But
so, Lewis, really quick here. Tyler has a question. You were talking about your kids.
Yeah.
He says, but Lou, they want to go to Disneyland without needing the merchandise in the stores to draw them into the park. Or is that not true?
That's not true. My kids hate Disneyland.
Okay.
Emily likes it. Ethan would rather stay with my mom than go to Disneyland.
Okay, that's fair. I take it back.
So, but I mean, right now though, my kids get a lot more excited over. Yes, they don't know it's Universal, but they get a lot more excited over Universal property than they do with Disney properties. I mean, I go in my house, and actually the last few days, they've been watching that Teenage Kraken movie. They love it. They even watched it crazy. Andrew, if Mario was a white powder, he'd sniff it on the daily. Like, that's how addicted he is to Mario. I mean,
I hope not.
And guess what? On Disney Plus, they watch Bluey, which is an Australian cartoon. It's not even owned by Disney. So, like, I get it. Disney has been putting in a lot of work to get where they're at. But right now, with the comments that their CEO is making, they're doing a lot to break their own ankles.
Now, that comment, I understand. I understand what you're saying by that comment. So
Disney has survived Iger anyway. I mean, that's just People who care about that stuff don't really care about most of them don't even know Iger's the president of Disney or anything.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, sometimes I talk to people and they're like, "Is this foreign? Or is this
like I don't care."
So I will say this: yes, Universal had a good year. Super Mario Brothers, which is probably one of the biggest fucking video games. We could honestly probably say it is the biggest, most popular video game of all time. Of course, it's going to have a draw. Mm-hmm. What else do they have? Barbie was not Universal, right? Barbie was not them. Yeah. So what else do they have?
So this year they've had Megan. Okay. They've had Knock at the Cabin, Super Mario Bros, Renfield, Fast X.
What made $1 billion? What did well? Mario made $1 billion.
Their top three was Mario, Fast X, and Oppenheimer.
Okay, what did Fast X do?
Fast X was
just a curiosity.
Yep.
My point is that, and I told you this when you told me, Lewis, a couple of days ago, we talked. You said I'm going to have this topic, and I said that's great. Every dog has their day. That's the way I look at that. There's going to be trends. There is obviously this stigma about Disney right now that
Fast X had 700 million.
Okay, all right. That's a disappointment for them, I would say, because all the other ones did pretty well, right? I mean, if we're being real, Mario is the only one that did $1 billion, right? And I think Barbie.
Barbie wasn't
there. Was under.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer was 900 million.
Yeah, my point is that everything there, and I get what Lewis is trying to get to at this whole point. There is some kind of stigma about Disney right now and them not doing as well as they used to. Mm-hmm. What is that? Who knows? Maybe it's people are sick of the shakeup in management. You know, this guy's gone, this guy's back, this guy's gone. That puts a bad taste in people's mouth. Then you have, I don't know. There's so many things to look at in this, and I don't know. Congratulations, Universal Studios. They did a great job. They had some great movies. So I'm happy for you. It's not going to always be this way, like David said. Disney is king. Disney will remain king. Yep. Disney, in my opinion, is still king, even though they're having a downward slope right now. That's my opinion. The theme parks don't hold a fucking candle to the Disney theme parks. I don't care.
Hold on. I'm pulling a penny to you that. I was in there Wednesday, and almost about 6 or 7 rides at any given time were down.
Where?
At Disneyland.
Okay.
What the fuck? Like, come on. Their rides are down more often than they're up and running.
Do we know
the rides are down and they still have bigger audience that show up to the park?
Yep.
Did you leave once you found out that the rides were gone? Are you like, no. I want my money back, I'm leaving the park or anything, or did you stay?
I can't get my money back. I'm a Magic Key holder.
But he makes a good point. Did you say, fuck this, I'm out? Because the brides were down? No, you stayed and found something else too. Because
then you'd be onto something. If the fans who were at Disney and they're like, okay, there's like 3 rides done, I'm done with Disney, and they stormed off, then I would say, okay, maybe there's space for other parks to come in, but that's not what happened. That never what happens. People complain for that ride, they'll go and do something else and still enjoy the park.
No, I stayed there because I live 2.5 hours away, so I'm like, well, let's make something of it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, not only that, Disney, I mean, you can go there any given day, and the reason why it's as packed as it is, half the people are in there just for influencing, buying merch and flipping it, getting their Instagram, TikTok photos. There's a lot of people that just go to Disneyland just to smell the fucking pirate water. I mean, let's be honest. They're not busy, and half those people have already commissioned their monthly payment or their annual Magic Key, and they go every day because they go every day. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, when the rides are breaking down, I mean, this is becoming more consistent. How many more years before it does actually start slipping where people are like, you don't fucking care?
I think until that happens, and we've had this conversation many times. I think until that happens, there's no fucking competition. It won't slip.
I think that's why Universal is doubling down, because they know it's
good for them. They can spend all that money and it's still not going to matter. I'll say that right now. It's still not going to matter. Epic Universe, big fucking deal.
They're not on pace to catch Disney.
No, they won't.
Disney will fall off, not because someone dethroned them. I'll be honest. Disney downfall would be Disney doing.
Yeah, they would cause it
no
themselves.
other company's going to come in and eat Disney's lunch for them. It's just not going to happen.
And Disney doing that is Disney doing that right now. Look at the comments this year along with their CEO. It's Disney's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're doing that right now.
And they're still beating Universal Studios with all this shit going on.
Yeah, it just started this year. But I mean, if the CEO keeps sitting there and doing this and letting movies just bomb, I mean, but outside of Guardians and Elemental by a small niche, what other movie was profitable this year for Disney?
Well, Mermaid was. It was profitable. It made they made more than the budget.
Yeah, quite a few
It wasn't a lot, but they definitely. But not Lewis. What you're saying, I completely understand, and I can give you shit all along. But I will always go back to the fact that, and until people stop going to Disneyland because they're going to go to the stupid Epic Universe. I have a problem with Universal because a long time ago, when they announced Epic Universe, I think I did a post on something, and we actually got blocked when we were on the Decast. They actually remember that, David. I made and Universal actually reported our page and stuff because they said not so.
I do a takedown.
I don't think so. It'll be cool for a little bit, just like everything else. Look at Super Mario World at Universal. Yeah, it was cool for a month. I heard about it for a month after it came out. It's like the size of a postage stamp in the park. Big deal.
And the complaints about it, man, that was enough to make people say, "Well, I'm not going."
I mean, we can
spending my money to go visit that.
Movie wise, I'll give it to you. Universal kicked Disney's ass in movies this year. It won't happen over and over and over. No fucking way.
So let me throw this out there because we love us three, especially love to talk about this.
Yeah.
Where does Disney stand if they end up selling to Apple? next to Universal.
They're not going to. So,
but if they do, are they still stronger than Universal that they had to get bought out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting.
How do you figure it's not? I'm curious because I hear you said.
I mean, you're holding your weight in the ring, but yet you need support to stay above water.
It's not going to happen though. So I understand that we always have this conversation, but
I mean we do. But I mean, if you get bought out or you sell,
I mean, it makes it weaker because that happens all the time. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why.
But it's Disney. It's Disney. They're all holy. So I mean, why would Disney sell?
Okay, so here's where we're conflating some things. Okay, so there's profitability that happens, right? And then there's popularity. Now, to be the king of entertainment, you gotta have a little bit of both, but you can suffer in either one of those categories. And sometimes profitability just isn't there, but I guarantee you, anyone that comes in for Disney is not going to destroy Disney. Like, well, you're not profitable. I mean, it's a shiny freaking ring and stuff. It's the same way with Microsoft being approached by any other company, Apple themselves being approached. You're a sought after product and stuff. Doesn't mean that you're not popular. You're not the king of the ring or anything. So I don't see the inference as if they get bought out, that means something as far as the race of the king of entertainment.
But being sought out and selling are two different things.
Well, look at cable right now, right? The cable channels, even the popular ones, are being HBO. All these channels are being bought out and then changed and transformed, and they're still like reigning supreme and stuff.
I mean, how many Paramount channels do we really need? Do we need Paramount and Paramount Plus? Do we really need that? I mean, if
you're going to go that route, Disney has Disney Channel. Yeah. I mean, Disney Plus. I mean, what's the difference?
Well, cable Disney Plus is a streaming service, and one's a cable channel.
Yeah,
so
cable channel versus streaming.
You can't buy the Disney Channel app. I mean, Disney Channel is on cable.
No, because it's already integrated into the app.
Sure. So something else to think about in the grand scheme of all this. You talk about Universal being so successful. We've talked about this. I don't know if we've talked about it for a while, but everyone knows that Disney had the opportunity to do Harry Potter, right? Could you imagine if Disney actually did do Harry Potter? Where would Universal Studios be today if they didn't have Harry Potter?
If I'm being honest, I don't think Universal would be as big, but at the same time, I don't think Harry Potter would be. I think Disney would have ruined it.
What?
I do.
That's wild.
Dang.
Disney would have ruined a magical kingdom of wizards and fairy tales and everything.
I think it's one of their biggest mistakes not getting that.
I mean, look at what they did in Narnia. I mean, books to Narnia, they washed it down so much. The books for Narnia were still very childlike, but the Chronicles of Narnia was really bad, and then they made the movies out of order of the books. They skipped every other book.
The books
weren't even
to
charge your phone while riding rides. Sorry, that was funny.
So I mean, I mean, if Universal didn't do Harry Potter, and I think if I'm not mistaken, did Universal do the entire movie set? I think they got it later on the road, but I could be wrong. I know they have Harry Potter in the parks, but I think if Disney would have did Harry Potter, they would have ruined it.
Dang.
That's
a strong comment.
Based on Narnia, is your?
I mean, I'm waiting for the other one that's coming out. I think it comes out in December. What's the oh my gosh. I'm blanking the name. They did a movie and then they weren't going to do it. It's not the Spider Chronicles. What's the other one? It's oh my gosh, Olympian.
Oh man, dude.
Percy Jackson. If Percy Jackson is good, then they may have could have dabbled with Harry Potter. But I think Percy Jackson's going to be another test to see if they would have done it right or not. We would have got some weird spin-off Descendants version of Harry Potter.
Dude, I want whatever you're smoking.
Disney would have ruined Harry Potter?
I think so.
God.
Okay, maybe not ruin it, but it would not be as good as what we know it today.
What?
I'm being very serious.
Dude, it's literally in their wheelhouse. It's literally magic.
You couldn't craft a better universe for Disney and their fandom and stuff. You couldn't build a better universe.
The live actions were born out of their wheelhouse, and they fucked those up.
Wait, who made the decision not to do Harry Potter? Bob Iger. He was in charge then, right? Was he in charge then?
What?
Was Bob Iger in charge of Disney when Harry Potter came out? So that's probably his decision to fucking fuck that up, right?
No, Harry Potter came out. The first one came out, 2001, 2000?
Okay. I take it back then. I'm just trying to.
So that would have been your golden boy, Michael Eisner.
Okay, well, not my golden boy. I like what Michael Eisner did in the parks.
But you're all over Eisner.
Here's the thing: people are human. Everyone makes mistakes and pass on things. You never know.
Disney would have destroyed Harry Potter.
I'll retract that to destroy, but I do not
ruin
done as a good job as what we know Harry Potter today.
Man.
I don't think so.
We would have live action Harry Potter TV shows.
You want my
movies,
honest opinion?
Products, the plugs that Disney has, that what they could have taken that for. They would have took Harry Potter to an even bigger level than it's ever been. I'm not even saying they would keep it the same. I'm saying it would have been bigger under Disney. Period.
I don't think so.
You're saying it will be dismal failure. I get you're trying to. This is supposed to be a Universal Appreciation Hour, but dude, man. Come on now.
I think Harry Potter, and I'm not gonna lie, is overrated. That's my opinion.
Yep. Overrated?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know all that.
And how did the spinoffs go for Universal? Didn't they do some spinoffs of Harry Potter? Those didn't do that well.
No.
In fact, I think they kind of.
They would have made a Harry Potter
franchise.
How did all the animation sequels go for Disney? Oh, that's right. They didn't do well either.
Again, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please reach out to Lewis at universalstudios.com.
Hey, Lewis, hand out your email address.
Go for Disney.
Yeah.
How did what?
How did the spin-off Star Wars shows do for Disney? How did the spin-off Marvel shows do for Disney? I mean,
they're doing great for Disney. I mean,
Lou's next podcast. I love Universal, and they can do no wrong.
I mean, you call me Universal Shawn. I'm preaching the same thing, but for Universal. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you what. This is what would have happened if Universal.
Hey, if you had some friends that started a Universal podcast, would you leave this one?
No. What? No.
Oh, well, I'm just asking.
I enjoy talking Disney. And actually, there was a comment.
You're saying my kids hate Disneyland, Universal. I mean,
Pixie Dust in Universal.
Pixie Dust in Universal. And that's how you flip a one. Can we give comment of the show? Like, if we give like a trophy and the like fireworks and stuff.
Excuse me. What?
What
Rebels, if I'm not mistaken, Rebels was done pre-Disney. Just saying.
What do you call a Universal Pixie Duster?
I love this show. The show this is great.
I mean, Lewis is getting attacked by everybody.
Everybody, I love it. Like, it's just,
bottom line is this: that if Harry Potter, I'll just dead this. If Harry Potter did go to Disney, we would have Marvel #1 franchise ever, Star Wars #2, and Harry Potter #3. And they've all been owned by Disney because of the Disney weight behind it and stuff that pushed it out. So
Disney would ruin Harry Potter. Let's just accept it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm being honest, man. I mean, yes, everyone could say. I mean, I got to see the comments saying Ahsoka. I mean, the Star Wars shows were passable. I mean, for anybody outside of the fandom, which again, I feel like if you're going as a business aspect, you have to go outside the fandom. You got to reach everybody to make that top dollar. And unless somebody's a diehard Marvel fan or a diehard Star Wars fan, the rest of the community can give two shits about it because it was good for us fans, but for the general community, it was confusing. It was lost. I mean, my favorite Marvel show was Moon Knight, and people were like, who was that? What was that about? There was nothing that launched the hook out and sunk some people in, like anchored them in. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Disney. I really do. I enjoy what they do, and I know it doesn't sound like it, but we have seen them do way better with much less, and right now they are not doing it. Let's call it like it is. I mean, they could be doing so much more.
The streaming service, is that brand new, right? It's still in it's in its infancy. They're trying to figure stuff out and stuff.
Which one? Peacock or Disney Plus?
Disney Plus. Disney Plus. They're trying to figure some things out and everything else and stuff. So
they have 1 year left for it to be considered profitable based on the margins they set for themselves.
They're going to be. They're just going to be and stuff. But the truth is, that's what they're doing. They're experimenting with TV. They did some experimenting. Marvel broke history by actually having like actual movie stars be in their TV stuff. I mean, they're just playing around and they have the money to do so and to figure things out and stuff. They're gambling and taking shots and stuff. And not everything has to be a home run, but they do have enough evidence. They do have enough information and data to actually build on that next iteration. 2.0, I guess, is what you would say, as they come out with more and more, because they're not going to stop making Marvel and Star Wars live action plus shows and stuff. They're just going to make them better, and they're going to perfect it.
The way I was talking, it sounds like they're going to slow it down a lot.
If it's a better product, I'm fine with that.
So I'm okay with them slowing it down and stuff.
If they slow it down but make a better product?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, I'm down for that too.
Yeah. So I do agree with a lot of what you're saying, Lewis, that, a lot of this, I mean, they tried to jam so much in. What's that?
What? No, you don't. You agreed to the Universal Pixie Duster.
100%. You're a Harry Potter.
That was the best comment ever.
A Harry Potter fluffer. That's what Tyler says.
A fluffer now. All right, Tyler.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, they jammed so much content new content down our throats these past couple of years, and obviously the product wasn't as good as it used to be. And I mean, but the reason why they did this was because they were trying to create something new. If they would have just I think if they would take a Disney Plus and done a few new things and just put in all this old stuff, like, they said they're going to open the vault. The whole vault isn't open on Disney Plus. Obviously, we know that because there's so much more. I think that would have been enough to sustain this, and they probably been more profitable because they would put so much money into all these new things that they were doing, and just done half of what they're doing. You'd be profitable already. I think that's just my opinion on that. But they did so much, and I think they're acknowledging finally that they, and maybe that's his comments. He's acknowledging, hey, we kind of fucked up. We're gonna try to fix it. If you really want to take that comment, you know what I mean, and try to find a golden line.
Hey, Luke, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Just off the top of your dome, just a guess, because I don't need an accurate number. But how many Disney podcasts do you think exist out there?
Oh, fuck. Probably too many to count.
But
I'm gonna say let's go with 280, just for a cool Disney number.
And how many Universal podcasts do you think exist out there that are just exclusive Universal?
I'm gonna say 281.
Okay, now you're full of shit.
I'm just kidding.
That pixie duster comment has now been solidified right there for Universal.
No, I mean, I get where we're going with this, but again, I'm just saying, if this is their leg out the race, and Disney right now is playing with fire, like I'm just saying, like I'm not right now in today's market. Yes, Disney has a fucking mile ahead run on them, but if they keep pulling themselves back and allowing Universal to catch traction, I mean, we've seen certain companies, and I know we're on Disney, but let's just take for all context aside, but just to use, look how quick Bud Light said up and then down within a year,
and they're back up.
They're fine.
They're actually higher than they were before the thing even started. The controversy.
Well, yeah, because now there's a lot of people that are like, "Fuck it, I'm going to support it." So that, but I mean, that's why I said context aside.
Okay,
Disney could do that self to them. They could. I mean, if Iger is really in there for his own image, he could sit here and just be like, "Nope, I'm doing this because I want to do this." I mean, he could be Chapek 2.0. We don't even know it yet. I mean, I think he's already there, but that's a whole other episode. But
I have another question for you real quick, Lou.
Here we go.
According to feedspot.com, the top 100 Disney podcasts of 2023, what podcast is ranked number 5 on that list?
I have no idea. It's a very specific question.
You motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Walt's Apartment Podcast.
Walt's Apartment Podcast, number 5, baby.
We're number 5.
What a weird plug. Why would you set it up? You set me up like that. You're like, you had such a serious
question. I thought you were going to say, I don't know. I was just looking while we were talking.
You know what? It's Undisputed. That's what it is.
Thank you, Undisputed, for carrying our whole network. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
That's not true.
No.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to shit on Universal. They're having a great. They should celebrate. They're having a great year. But really, I mean, we're talking NFL versus a high school team that just went to the championship. Good for them. They got a trophy. Good job, Universal. Proud of you. You're doing. Love to see you in the pros someday.
Right.
But the thing is, they're not in the NFL. They're not in Disney's league. No. They're just not. There is literally 3-year-olds that walk on this planet of 8 billion people that know Disney, have no clue what the hell a Universal is.
I can't. I don't know. I think you put a Minion and a fucking Mickey Mouse doll together. I think
they don't know Minions Universal.
8 out of 10 times.
They know Minions. They know Minions over Universal.
Yeah.
That's like saying putting a Happy Meal in front of a kid and then McDonald's, and they don't know what McDonald's is, but they know what a Happy Meal. They know what Disney is. They know Frozen is Disney. They know Disney IPs is Disney and stuff. But Minions can be owned by anybody. That's how much disconnected they are from their products.
Well, I think this is the first time we're in the show agreeing to disagree. Normally we come back around and
we can bring you back to the light side. You're going to stay in the dark side. Where's your red lightsaber at then?
We have another topic?
I'm about to go be like Anakin and kill all the Playhouse Disney characters.
Oh, yeah. The other topic is him bashing on Disney some more because their movie fucking flopped. What's wrong with Disney? That's your other topic, right?
It was, yeah. It's not bashing on Disney, but I mean, why? Let me ask you this. Okay, so and if someone mentioned a comment, if you don't like it, don't talk about it. We're obviously a Disney podcast.
Yeah.
And the rest of our shows talk very highly of stuff. And I'm not gonna say all of our pixie dusters because I don't think that's so, but at some point we have to face facts and ask ourselves, what the fuck? Like why?
That's fair.
And the movies are story-wise, I mean, I haven't seen Marvel's yet, and I want to see it. I'll wait till it comes on Disney Plus, but I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. And mixed reviews where I can't tell if it was good or bad, but it was like, wish I went and saw that. I enjoyed Disney cartoons, so I went and saw it. It was all over the fucking place. Confusing.
But did you like it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that I'm walking out like, that was a damn good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Elemental, but I couldn't get past it's like you just reskinned Zootopia. All you did.
Right.
I think the issue is your expectations are too high.
You want
home runs all the time.
I mean, for the past 10 years, we've kind of been spoiled with that. I mean, fuck,
Yeah,
that is great answer. That's a great
answer. We had from Pirates to Marvel to Star Wars to the cartoons and stuff like that, where it was like there was not a Disney movie that didn't hit. And so I will not do my expectations too high. But at the same time, when you see Once Upon a Studio, an 8-minute short, be better than 80% of the full feature-length movies in the theaters, that's a problem.
100%. I do agree with that. I don't disagree with you at all. That's
Disney set themselves up with people having high expectations, expecting home runs all the time because that's what they were used to delivering, and now they're not delivering. I mean, they can be profitable, and the movies can be judged on their own merits for their own selves and stuff. And granted, you're always going to have haters who's going to come up with all of these reasons as to what's going on and everything else. I mean, because that's at the end of the day, it's all speculation as to why the isn't produced. I mean, no one's actually bringing up the point that we went through COVID. The whole world changed. Nobody's really going to the movies like there were prior to 3 years ago and stuff. That's a huge
the argument. I mean, to defend Lewis, the argument is, I mean, look at Mario did $1 billion still.
One-offs, yeah. We have
one-offs. No, absolutely. But I mean, COVID is a reason for a lot of things, but it's not the reason for everything. And I get what you're saying, David, 100%. But yeah, I don't know. I understand what Lewis, the whole point he was trying to make with this whole show was the fact that what's happening, and it's a question that to be asked and what is happening, because there is obviously something happening and it needs to be fixed.
I don't disagree. I think we were set up to have high expectations.
100%.
This is all Disney's doing. But the thing is, I also accept that we live in a new world, and we have to adjust our expectations, and what we expect from these theaters and from these entertainment companies and stuff like that. Streaming is another thing. I mean, why go to the movies and when in like less than 12 weeks it's coming straight to your living room where it's safe, you can do what you want and everything else. I mean, these are all big factors and stuff. And again, no, I'm not taking away from that Disney have a storytelling problem, because they could have with these. I never saw Wish. I couldn't, so I can't comment fairly, argue for or against the storytelling of it or anything else. But I do know that it's fair to say it's fair criticism, like if the storytelling isn't right and stuff. But there's other factors as to the box office numbers. So that's all I'm going to say.
I will give you that. I will say there's lots of factors. I mean, and Disney's missing options to make money. I mean, you can easily release a movie in theaters for 3 months, put it in a streaming platform, but put it on your streaming platform where, hey, you got to pay $10 if you wanted to watch it now. And then guess what? In 4 months, then it will be out for free. That's what pay-per-view made their money off of back in the cable days. Yeah, you could watch the new movies here on your TV right now. You're going to pay for it for this 24-hour rental. And then in about a year, you'll find it free on FX with commercials. That's the thing, is Disney's not doing that. But then again, too, the numbers and all that need to reflect quick. I mean, you look at some Disney Plus shows, and I'm sure Imagineering Story probably has amazing numbers, but it's already been out for so long that no one's checking those numbers. Some of the media outlets want numbers within 24 hours, within a month, within 90 days. And that's why, hey, this needs a hit. After we get our numbers, we can care less what happens to this. And that's unfortunate, because it doesn't return the dollar. And dollars is another factor people take into. But we are 30 seconds out from our 1 hour and 30-minute marker. So before I close, I want to thank Shawn. Thank you, David, for hopping on. As always, this shit was good. But what did you guys take away from this episode?
I'll say this. I love this episode. I love being on with you guys. I respect you guys both tremendously. And my Niners are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, damn, he went there at the end. No, it's fun. I mean, we learned that Lewis is a shill for Universal. So we definitely have that. We have that. So look for Lewis's new podcast from a Universal world. coming soon.
Universal World.
Yeah, something like
called
that.
A Boy Loves Universal.
It's going to be epic, right? Just like the new park coming. That's probably going to fail. But I mean, Lewis loves Universal. That's what I learned.
Man.
What'd you learn, Lou?
Oh, I mean, I learned a lot of things today. Some people are one-sided.
Shots fired.
Me, man. Damn. Fucking hit the music. Let's get the fuck out of here.
But as always,
that's a wrap.
Man, that was fucking brutal. I'll end it.
I love it.